You're listening to Up All Night, Poppin' Bottles with Kat
and Brooke.
Hi, welcome to Up All Night, Poppin' Bottles with Kat
and Brooke.
Today we are talking about back to work blues because guess who went back to work this week? Or last week?
Yeah, last week.
So how's that going?
Imagine you're drowning and then someone dumps a
on you?
30-pound weight on you. That's kind of what it feels like. No, it is good to be back in a routine, but the baby still gets up twice a night.
Yep. And
I came back to work at literally one of the busiest times ever. And I'm dealing with a little bit of guilt too, because I get home at 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to cook dinner, do all the things.
Mm-hmm.
And then the baby goes to bed at 8.
And it's like your day's gone.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel bad because I only see him for 2 hours, but.
So like, what time do you get up and what time do you go to work?
So I get up at 6 and then hit the snooze at least twice. And then I get to work at 7:30. So I'm dropping
early.
Price and Delaney off at 7:15 or 7, and then dropping Whit off at daycare. Then I go to work, and then I loop around at the end of the day and kind of do it all.
Yikes, that's tough, man.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
In fact, yesterday, on my lunch break, I closed my door and slept on my couch in my office.
Oh, bless your heart.
And somebody knocked on the door and had to like jump up and pretend. I was like, oh, hey, yeah, just on a conference call. Yeah. Oh, it was so obvious I was asleep. Like, you can hear like this pleather couch. You can like hear me getting off of it because it's right by the door. And I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, just getting some work done.
Working on my snoozes.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's okay though. Like we all should cut each other more slack in general. And like the whole U.S. work culture thing is bullshit, first of all. But yeah, nobody can blame you for catching some Z's on your lunch break. Man.
And even though you don't have a traditional 9 to 5, like you have all kinds of hours.
Oh man, like so like you have like a traditional 9 to 5, right? And so you were fortunate enough to take 4 months off, which is holy cow, amazing.
Yeah.
So like my first kid, I think I took 8, maybe 12 weeks off. It was probably closer to 8 though, because like I wasn't the boss. I couldn't squeeze a few extra hours out. But essentially that's that whole like dropping the kid off with the sitter in the morning. You don't pick them up till 5:36 in the evening. And then you get like 2 hours with your kids and then you got to go to bed and start over. That's the whole reason why I quit my job, which I freaking loved. I love the people I work with, but I was like, this is bullshit. I can't do it. And so what's even more bullshit is, like you said, like, now I work, I'm a real estate agent. I work a commission job. I don't have set hours, which is a blessing and a curse because I really did, I was like, oh, I'll take a few weeks off for maternity leave. I did not.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God. That. Yeah. You were like in the hospital doing house stuff.
I'm like working on contracts in the fucking delivery bed. Like it's stupid. It is so stupid. And so like, I don't know. I just have a lot of very strong emotions about how we as a civilization in general and we as Americans in specific, our approach to work and family and parenting.
Well, and I feel like it's even worse on women.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like it's almost, like everybody, when I came back, were like, oh, we wondered if you were going to come back. We didn't think you were going to come back. And it's like, nobody would ask a man that if he went on paternity leave.
No.
It's like.
And even still, he's only gone for like a week or two. My husband was wonderful. And he did stay home for 2 weeks, thankfully. And I think the first time he stayed home for 2 weeks. That's only 2 weeks, man.
Right.
You are still in the haze at 2 weeks.
Well, I went back to work last Wednesday. Thursday, Whit was sick. Those daycare I think
All
it was
the
Thursday.
ickies.
Right. And I'm like, I literally just went back to work and I'm having to go home. Thankfully, Scott like halved the day with me, but it's one of those things like, you know, you worry that people are, oh, here it comes. She's never going to be there. You know, like that it's going to hurt me in the future. And
well, like, didn't you, I mean, you burned up, you utilized your right for all your full FLMA, whatever protected provision. So like, you might not have had any hours left to take off. Like, and a lot of people don't.
No, yeah. A lot of people have to go back to work at what, a week, you know, 2 weeks. I mean,
it's insane. And I am mad about that for people who are less fortunate than we were. Because frankly, like we didn't have it easy, but we had it easy, man.
Other countries don't do that. They don't like.
I never want to live where it's cold ever, but I kind of want to be like Norwegian or Finnish or Swiss.
You know, in Switzerland, actually. So my cousin actually moved there. Yeah, it was her husband's job. Cool. She said she's a dietitian. That, and I may be getting this wrong. So Allison,
correct us.
I'm just doing this based on memory. She said they like tax women if you work at like 70% or something. Like it was this crazy number to encourage them not to work.
Like at all, or just during this kind of postpartum?
I think, I don't know.
All right. I feel some kind of way about that too. Like,
well, true, right. But it's interesting. Yeah. That they just put other countries put an emphasis on family and ours doesn't.
So I have this theory that like 98% of all the world's ills, particularly in our country, like crime, like poverty, you know, poor nutrition, all that boils down to not having appropriate family support.
Yeah.
And not loving on your children and not, you know, having the wherewithal, like the finances or the time or, you know, the village to be able to dedicate to child rearing. Because like if we have the time to take off work for 6 months or a year or whatever to get our kids fed and you know.
Well, what's interesting too, I went to a seminar one time and the psychologist was saying that in Japan, mass killings and things like that among young people are almost non-existent because they have such a core family values that are there.
Yeah, it makes me angry in lots of different ways.
But yeah, I'm tired.
I bet you are, hon. I bet you are. But your coworkers seem to be happy to have you back. Like they like welcomed you and showered you with gifts.
Sarcastic comments on my door. Like we were happy to do your work for you.
Oh man.
No, I mean it's a blessing and a curse. And right now I'm like, oh, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. But yeah, Whit just cuddles all day.
Yeah.
In 6 months,
you've been chasing him.
Yeah, I'd be like, no, I'm going to go back to work.
Did you feel like that was kind of a tough adjustment? Because like I didn't understand how hard it is to be a stay-at-home mom until, you know, I became a parent and, you know, you're stuck at home. You can't do shit for a while. How did you feel about that transition kind of back and forth?
So there was a week between when my other two, their like summer camp ended and then when school started. So I had all three for a week all day long at my house. And that's when I knew I'm not stay-at-home mom material because it is hard and it is exhausting.
I mean, so your older two are significantly older, so they are pretty independent. They can do the things.
Sure, but they want you to entertain them constantly, you know.
Like I had a closing this week with and the buyers. It was a sweet little family, right? They're moving in from North Carolina or something like that. And bless the mom's heart, like she just looked haggard.
Yeah, she just looked tired.
And I just wanted to reach out and hug her. She wasn't my client. I mean, you know, it's weird to touch people you don't know. But like, so the oldest kid was 6, the middle kid was 3, and the baby was 18 months. And they're literally running circles around the closing table, chasing each other. And she's just like doing the best she can, handing out toys.
I don't judge people's parenting. Well,
the little one bonks his head and she's like, oh, he does that. And I'm like, girl, I feel
he does that sometimes. It's fine.
But yeah, so all that to say is that like I have so much respect for people that have large families. 1 was hard. 2 is harder. After that, you're outnumbered. it is like full out warfare trying to keep up with him.
I know. Speaking of, so to kind of segue into sort of a similar topic, but I'm formula feeding. It kind of talks about all three of the topics we were going to talk about. But if I was breastfeeding, I'd have to go to work, pump every 2 hours. And then how the hell do you get work done when you got to pump every 2 hours? People knocking on my door,
Yeah.
And a girl at work recently had a baby, and they have a pumping room for her.
That's fancy.
Well, legally you have to have a place for it.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be a pumping room,
right? And it can't be a bathroom. So,
thankfully,
yeah. So, but yeah, like she's up, down, walking down the hall with her pump, and it's like I'm sure. I mean, that's a lot when you're trying to get your work done, and so.
We will talk more about this.
Yeah.
Because I also have lots of thoughts about that whole thing too.
Oh God!
I did pump in a bathroom this week. It was thankfully a private bathroom, but
what are you gonna
do? Yes.
Yeah, you gotta do what you. I mean, you do what you gotta do.
Yeah. So anyway, back to work sucks.
Mm-hmm.
We all got to pay the bills, but like it is hard being in a position to where you have to work, but you want to be able to spend time with your children, and you can't. And there's just not enough hours in the day.
I want like part-time mom, part-time work,
full-time pay.
Yeah, full-time pay for sure. So,
yeah. Well, so we'd love to hear about your thoughts on back to work and how you guys juggle that, because there's no right or wrong way to do it.
Both are hard. They're just hard. Staying at home is hard. Going to work is hard. They're just hard in different ways.
And like for families that have multiple kids, and then you have like activities like Precious got like football and stuff after work or after school, and
we'll see. We got tennis, football, and I can't get Delaney to tennis because of work. So I'm having to pay a girl to literally pick her up from school and drive her maybe a fourth of a mile and drop her off.
Because she's not big enough to like walk or like ride her bike.
Yeah, or walk across a 2-lane highway.
Oh yeah, we don't do that. That's not advisable.
Actually, she's probably independent enough she could. But it's like that's another thing you have to deal with. Is like I can't leave every Tuesday and Thursday to take her to tennis. And their father is super supportive, so I'm very lucky in that front. But I mean, it's
but he can't
do it either, right?
Yeah. So I have some thoughts about that too, about the balance between the spouses or the fathers, because you don't have to marry a baby daddy, but they have a baby daddy, or else they wouldn't have a baby, right? So I just have some thoughts about that too, because like that shared workload is never quite balanced. It always seems to be tipped in favor of the dads.
Yeah.
And the moms. And, maybe I'm biased just because I have not been sleeping great. And, I feel the effort, but I just, why is it that baby's sick?
Right.
Why is my spouse's job more important?
Right. Yeah.
That he can't get the phone call or he can't go run and pick it up, that I have to stop what I'm doing to go take care of the kid.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'll do it. I have done it. I'd still do it, but I don't like it.
And I think even just in general, Scott is super supportive. He will feed the baby. He will do all these things. But at the end of the day, I'm still, I'm the only one that really can comfort the baby. Or, so at the end of the day, I'm the one who's going to cook dinner. And as supportive as they are and try to be, it's just not going to ever truly be equal.
Yeah. Like I'm lucky Bobby does all the cooking. Like I am procurement. I am accounting. Right. I am, accounts receivable, and he's like operations.
All right.
He does the things. But just because you're going to cook dinner doesn't mean you're excused from all the other things too.
Yeah.
You got to do all the other things too. And I would like to have more of a break is not even the right word. Like I don't need a break for my kid. I just want it to be more equitable in the workload. And, even if I'm the only one with the milk factory, that's fine. Right. I get it. But I don't like having to tell my spouse, hey, will you do X, Y, Z? He likes to come home from work and come sit outside. Weather's been beautiful lately. And he is that's his like decompression time. Like he goes and he sits outside and has a beer, sits in his swim trunks and catches some rays. Cool. I begrudge that none. Because we all deserve decompression time.
Right.
But I came home in a tizzy this week because I had all the things that I was doing and appointments, and one kid's got to go to Taekwondo, the other one's got a poopy diaper, and I'm like, can you just take the kid to Taekwondo? That'll make things easier. I just, I have a routine. I come home and I do this. I'm like, yeah, but this is your kid too. Come on, man. Come on. Do you hear yourself on this? Come on.
One day, so we had all 3 kids at home, and they were being loud and clingy and everything. And Scott's like, I'm going to go float in the pool.
Oh, yes.
I almost drowned him in that pool. I was like, why do you get to go float in the pool? What? I would give my right arm to go float in the pool. And then he's like, I just need some, time away from all this sometimes. I'm like, is that a joke? Like, you poor baby. You need some time away, you poor thing.
Yeah. So we still love our spouses.
Yeah,
and
they try.
And they're great daddies. Both of them are. But it's just hard. And it's hard to be working moms. And it's hard to be parents that, we want to give our kids all the things. Mm-hmm. We want them to do all the things. We want them to be secure.
Well-rounded.
Right? Not
little jerks.
Not aspiring serial killers. None of that. None of that. No Dahmers in the making. Have you started watching that? I can't.
Yeah. We finished it last night. In fact, so
I can't do it.
A lady we know, and I will protect her identity. She said her 4-year-old said to her, "Mommy, I want to kill you."
Oh,
and I was like.
Five says that kind of shit all the time.
I was like, I'm sure he was just, she's like, I don't think so. I was like, okay.
No, 5 says, Mommy, I'll kill me. And I'm like, I don't know where you picked that up, but like, you got to stop saying that.
It was just funny the way she said it because we just had finished the Dahmer thing. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I can't bring myself to watch it. Anything that has that. No.
It's rough.
I do not.
Oh, so speaking of things we've watched, did you, okay. Shout out to Netflix for the show Working Moms.
Oh, no, I still haven't watched that yet because I don't have time to sit and watch it.
Well, I do. So, no, I binged it on my last day at home before going back to work. And it is so realistic. It's unbelievably realistic. And so it's hilarious because you can actually relate to it, and all the moms are a mess in their own way, and one's kind of a workaholic but also trying to be a good mom. One's a real estate agent, and then the other one's a psychologist, and she finds out she's pregnant like immediately after having her other one, and she is not happy about it.
No, ma'am.
And so it's super relatable. So Working Moms on Netflix.
Is it a Netflix original?
I don't know. I feel like it is, but
I don't know,
but it's good.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's good.
You guys check it out too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So here, cheers to working moms.
Our Coke Zeros here.
And
we just cheers with Coke Zero.
Yeah, we wish it were something else, but it's not.
It was beer.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts on going back to work this week? Anything you wish you would have done a little differently or anything like that?
I wish I would have gotten up and gone to the gym like I promised myself I would. That's my mom fail of the week.
Mom fail of the week. All right, let's talk about that. Because, give yourself some credit because you actually took the baby in the stroller on the Riverwalk and you jogged, pushing that thing is
before
so hard.
Yeah, that was before. Now I'm back at work. And so there's none of that going on.
Well,
so I was like, every day, I'm going to get up at 4:30 and go to the gym. Yeah.
I want to go back to doing that. I used to do that.
Well, if the baby would sleep through the night, I would do it.
If he would just stay asleep.
Yeah, but it's like when he gets up at 3, I'm
making back up.
So I've got to stop making excuses. Because then, we talked last time about kind of body image and all that. But because it kind of already, every time I turn the alarm off and don't go, I wake up pissed at myself, so.
Well,
so next week, that's the goal.
Here's your fix. Do what I do. Make it a job to where you have to show up. You can't flake out when you have to be on stage.
Yeah, well, I'm not teaching fitness classes.
But you could.
No, I'm not doing that.
All right, so that's your mom fail of the week.
That's yeah.
All right, my mom fail of the week is that I wrecked my mommy mobile.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't my fault. I swear to God. I was rolling up the street going to Dalton for Young Game Changers, which, by the way, is coming to Columbus next year.
That's good.
We'll talk about that. Well, it's good for our community. Anyway, I'll tell you about that more later.
In our community.
Yeah, so I'm driving up the road at like dark 30, and like I look up and here comes this yellow thing hurtling at my car, and I'm like, and I just run over it because like, what are you going to do flying 70 down the road? And so I freak out and I pull over at the next exit, and like it has ripped half my bumper off.
Where were you?
I was between whatever exit and Hopewell Church Road because I got off at Hopewell Church Road.
Okay, so you weren't super far.
No, but I was
far enough.
Far enough to yeah. But it totally like ate my front end. But it was drivable. Like the bumper did what it was supposed to do. I mean, I didn't die. You know,
that's a plus.
Yeah. So that's my mom fell over the week, which turned into a mom win. The sweet mommy wagon you saw me pull up in.
I know, you threw me off.
Holy cow. Y'all, I've been anti-minivan. Like, I can't do it. Well, I have done it. The rental is a minivan. It's a Chrysler Pacifica. It's brand
Everybody
new.
who has
it
one
is
swears by them.
Swinging. The remote start, the remote open the doors, like everything.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sold.
Oh, yeah.
I won't anymore.
But Scott won't drive one, so
I'm just saying, get him in this one. He might have a change of heart.
So I sort of got a minivan adjacent Yukon.
So it's a tank.
Yeah,
let's be honest, it's a tank.
Yeah. So,
all right, cool. Well, that's back to work this week, and this is Kat,
and this is Brooke,
and we're up all night popping bottles.
We'll do it again soon.
Yep.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Up All Night Poppin' Bottles with Brooke and Kat, produced by Ricky Z Social Media.